So in tonight's lesson, we have a lot to cover. We're going to start off by teaching you some of the basics to one of the best trading strategies that I've created. It's called a gap close reversal. I'm going to walk you through some of the basics to the PCP reversal trading strategy. For those of you who've been following this channel recently, you are well aware in terms of the trading plans that I've been giving you to trade the best setups at the best prices. I made it very, very clear to buy call options on the SPY once we drop to 537 if you get a green bullish 30-minute confirmation. For those of you who did end up executing on that trading plan, you would have been buying call options on the SPY towards the exact lows, because once the SPY hit that 537 level and ended up filling the gap, a green bullish trend reversal bottom wick pin ended up closing above that level. And then shortly after that, we went all the way to 547.20. So with that being said, I am also going to be walking you through our new game plan heading into tomorrow. Tomorrow's game plan is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And then I'm going to be recapping the trades that we made inside of Team Roar. Every single trade in the morning has been a win. G-Roar alerted another 50% profit return on Tesla puts in the morning. Then his second trade on the day was a 150% profit return. He ended up trading his game plan, which was to buy SPY call options above 542, and he ended up making a 150% profit return on that particular trade. In terms of the trade that I made during Power Hour, you guys are well aware that I trade best during the Power Hour trading session. I did end up alerting SPY put options at 3:30 p.m. on the opening of the 30-minute candle on the last one, and those SPY put options, the 542 puts that I bought at 32 cents, they ended up going up over 400 a contract. You could have made over a 1,300% profit return on those. I'm going to be recapping the trades, I'm going to be teaching you the strategy, and I'm going to be providing you the new game plan heading into tomorrow. Let's get straight into it. So we're going to start off with the trading strategies, man. First things first, we have to go back to the game plan. This is the foundation. So I'm going to walk you through some of the basics. Listen to the game plan very, very clearly. Look for a gap close reversal at 537. This is going to be an amazing level to not only day trade, but to potentially swing trade call options. Remember, you have to use the confirmations. You can't just blindly trade based off of a level. You have to actually know how to trade at these levels. Now, with that being said, you know, this 537, this is previous resistance. Once it's tested for the first time, it's going to react to support, man, because it wasn't too long ago that this was at 565, plus you have a gap that's waiting to fill below at the previous resistance. So in terms of that strategy, the SPY had a massive breakout, had a massive gap up. Once it drops back down to this previous resistance, it's going to try to react to support. Once it drops back down to this gap, it's going to try to have a reversal. So make sure you are setting your price alerts at these levels. You should not have a problem making money if you know how to trade and use these confirmations at these specific levels, man. So that's my basic breakdown. So let's get into some of the basics of this unique trading strategy, man. So this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to find a stock that has a gap up. It could be a small gap up. It can be a massive gap up. But what you want is an overreaction to the upside. So I'm going to walk you through in terms of what this looks like. So you can see right here, the SPY has some resistance at 537, and then it keeps on having overreactions to the downside. It quickly drops to 532, goes back up to 537. So this is what you want to look for, man. In terms of this gap, the SPY ended up gapping up from 537. This white line is the previous closing price. If you do not have this on your charts, you are literally sleeping on one of the best possible levels to be trading at. It's just you have to know how to trade at the PCP level. It's not created equally at all times. Sometimes I have no interest or care in terms of when SPY hits the PCP. And then there's other times where I'm very interested in that. In terms of why I was so interested in buying call options at this level, let's get into it. So 537, there is a gap that is waiting to fill below. You can see right here, the SPY ended up closing on this day. If you go back to June 11th, 2024, the SPY ended up closing right here on this day at 536.91. The next day, the SPY opened up higher than it previously closed. So that means that the SPY had a gap up. It is opening up higher than the previous closing price. It is moving during, after hours. It is moving during pre-market, and it is going up during the extended hours trading session, and then it is opening up higher. So it's having a gap up. Then from there, what do you want to happen? What is your best case scenario in terms of this overall strategy? An overreaction to the upside. So in terms of how an overreaction to the upside is created is a massive gap up or just a massive breakout, or it could even be a small gap up and then a massive breakout, right? So you want a continuation. That is truly what you want, man. You want the SPY, you want the stock to gap up, and then you want it to be a gap and go. You want it to just keep on going up, right? That's what you want. And then you want it to quickly drop back down, very quickly, to have an overreaction to the downside. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, man. You can see right here, there's a gap to fill below at 537. And then it had a massive overreaction to the upside. So in a couple weeks, basically in about, slightly over a month, SPY ended up going up to 565, right? So the SPY had a massive overreaction to the upside in a little bit over a month, right? Now this is what you want to happen. So that massive move from 537 to 565, it took a little bit over a month, right? Now this is what you want to happen. You want the stock, or you want SPY, you want it to lose all of its fucking gains in a quick period of time. So it took a little bit over a month to go from 537 to 565. And then what do you want to happen? When that gap fills, you want it to have a massive overreaction to the downside. So in terms of what can create a massive overreaction to the downside is what can create a very quick drop, negative news, but of course, massive gap downs, massive move downs in short periods of time. So look at this. You got two massive gap downs. You got a massive gap down here at 565. It ends up going all the way down to the same day at 557, right? That's a massive overreaction to the downside. And then you have another massive gap down recently at 553. Ends up going all the way down to 540, man. This is what you want when you have a gap up and then it keeps on going. It's have a gap and go. And then it keeps on having these overreactions to the upside. You want it to quickly lose all of its gains. So like I said, it took a little bit over a month to go from 537 to 565. But look at how quickly it took to lose all of its gains. 565 all the way down to 537. How long did it fucking take? From July 17th up until today, July 25th. That's a short period of time. So you see, that's what we call an overreaction to the downside. Basically, in one fucking week, it loses all of its gains. How long did those gains take to make? A little bit over a month. That is what you want. You stack that in your favor, man. If SPY or stock is having a gap up and it just keeps on fucking going up and it takes, 2, 3, 4 weeks to fucking get there, and then in a less amount of time, it just sells off and fills the gap, especially in like a week, it has an overreaction to the downside in a very quick period of time. It loses those gains in such a quick period of time. Like I said, it took over a month to get up there, but it took a fucking week to lose all the fucking gains. That's all you need. That's an overreaction to the downside, right? So then from there, once that gap fills, you're going to be long biased, you're going to be bullish, because SPY was just at 565. It's losing all of its gains in about a week, which is an overreaction to the downside. It's due for some sort of reversal. And then in terms of what are some other stocks? So I gave you the time stack. The time stack was simple. You find something that gaps up and then it keeps on going. It has a gap and go. And then you want it to lose its gains very, very quickly. So if it had a massive move to the upside in 2 days and then it drops straight back down to the gap in 2 days, that's what you want. Or if it had a massive move to the upside, it just kept on going up for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then it just loses all of its gain in a less amount of time, that's what you want. That's the overreactions you want, right? You want it to quickly retrace back to where it came from the gap, right? And then from there, the stacks, I'm going to show you some stacks. This is a stack. This is another trading strategy that I use, and I use this strategy on bullish trends. This is a completely different strategy. This strategy was aligned with the gap. 537, this is a resistance level. You can see SPY quickly went from 537 all the way down to 532. It had a 5-point move within 1 day. That's a measured move, meaning it could have a 5-point move in 1 day from that level, right? And then you can see right here, 537. It retests the resistance level. It breaks above it, but it had a gap up. Look at this. It's fucking invisible, man. So the point being is, this is another strategy. When the SPY is due for a bullish reversal, or when the SPY is on a bullish trend, once it breaks above the resistance level, when it drops back down to that previous resistance, it's likely going to react to support. So 537 is resistance. The SPY had a massive gap up above resistance. When it drops back down to that previous resistance, it could turn previous resistance into support, because that's just a strategy in a sense where when a stock breaks above a resistance level and it quickly drops back down to previous resistance, it could potentially bounce first. Previous resistance reacts as support on bullish trends, and then potential situations where SPY can have a bullish reversal. And I explained to you why it can potentially have a bullish reversal. So in this situation, using that strategy, That was a bullish reversal situation. I stacked that. You can use that strategy. Previous resistance reacts to support when the SPY is on a bullish trend. You can see right here, the SPY has not been on a bullish fucking trend. It's been selling off from 565 all the way to 537. So in terms of this situation, we use that strategy as a bullish reversal. You understand? The bullish reversal was the gap. It was the gap at 537, and we combined that with the previous resistance. And then in terms of other stocks, why would it be more likely for the SPY to reverse at those levels? So I gave you all the reasons, man. I already gave you all the reasons. I hope you're writing all this information down. I'm literally showing you how to confirm when a stock is going to reverse. You can use this rinse and fucking repeat. You just got to wait for the levels to develop. You got to wait for the overreactions, to set. You got to wait for the bears to get trapped first. And then you got to wait for the massive overreaction to happen on the downside, right? So anyways, in terms of other reactions, man, look, there's a gap to fill here at 554. There's a gap to fill here at 565. So another point you can make is the SPY is going to attempt to reverse at this gap and at this previous resistance to start to go back up to fill the gaps that are waiting to fill above. There is a gap to fill above right here at 554. There is a gap to fill above at 565. If the SPY has a gap close reversal and begins to reverse at this gap, it is going to start to fill the gaps that are waiting to fill above. And it's pure common sense, man, because it's just so oversold, especially in this bullish market when we're getting a move from 565 to 537 in just a week, and it took us over a month to fucking get there, and it loses its gains in a fucking week, and you have all these confirmations, man. You have previous resistance that has not been tested, which can react to support. You have the gap that's waiting to fill at 537. You have the gaps that are waiting to fill above. You have the green bullish 30-minute confirmation. What more do you need? So the point being is, man, in terms of self-sufficiency in implementing the strategies that I'm teaching you, you should have been in call options once this 30-minute candlestick closed. You should have been in call options on the opening of this 30-minute candlestick. You should have been buying call options because it reversed at the gap and it formed a green bullish 30-minute confirmations. So in terms of one of the confirmations that I use that it is going to reverse is the 30-minute chart. In terms of swing trading, I look to use the daily chart and I wait for the daily candlestick to close, which is, just a couple minutes before the market closes, a little before like 4 p.m. So anyways, that is some of the basics to the strategies. And then from there, you can set profit stops. You can buy calls. You can set profit stops, get stopped out for profits. Don't go green to red in the trade. Or you can just sell into the first red 30-minute candle, man. And then in terms of the game plan that I gave you yesterday, listen to the game plan that I gave you yesterday, man. If you would have implemented this game plan, you should have been green on the day as well, man. Listen to this. This was the zone for put options. I gave you a zone on the put options. And this is where the red bearish 30-minute confirmations began to form on the SPY. So this is a very similar strategy. And you compare it to earlier today, basically, once these previous 1-minute candles towards 545 to 544 start to react as a resistance, that's likely going to be a good opportunity to buy put options heading into tomorrow. In terms of future levels, so, if you would have just simply waited for the SPY to get in that 545 to 544 zone today, you could have bought put options once these red 30-minute candlesticks started flipping red, man. You could see right here, just look at the candlesticks. In terms of the red bearish 30-minute confirmations, we had a massive overreaction to the upside from 537, reversing out the gap, 10-point move to the upside to 547. And then you could see, man, once the SPY formed these red bearish 30-minute confirmations at the put zone, and I explained to you in yesterday's video on why that was a key level of interest in terms of the strategy to buy puts, right? This was a great opportunity to buy put options, man. So in terms of the trades, I'm going to be breaking those down here shortly, but let's get into tomorrow's game plan, man. So that's some of the basics to the trading strategy. It gets a lot more advanced. I'm just teaching you some of the basics, man. But in terms of the overall trades, let's get into this, man. So first things first, let's get into tomorrow's game plan. So what I've done is to come up with this game plan, I've looked at the daily chart. I took a brief look at the history of the daily chart, and this is what caught my attention. You have this red wick right here. You have this, Look at this. You have this green candle right here. You have this green candle right here. You have this red wick right here. You have this red wick right here. Then you have this red bearish candle. Then you have this red bearish candle. Then you have this red bearish candle pointed upside. So there's been a lot of similarities, especially with these two red candles. And the SPY was at key oversold support towards, gap levels at the time as well. So it caught my attention. So this is the main thing that I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. The previous closing price, and like I said, it's not always important, but you should always be watching it. But in terms of this situation, it's going to be very important. The previous closing price is going to be an extremely important level for tomorrow, man. 538.41. So in terms of your support zone, this is going to be your support zone. Your support zone is going to be at the gap. This is make or break. 537 is make or break support. If 537 cracks and we get a red bearish 30-minute confirmation, the bears go full in control and they take it down to 533. All right, so that's what you need to know in terms of bears taking full control tomorrow to short a key breakdown. Just understand we're at some very oversold territory, and the SPY is attempting to reverse at the gaps. These are very dangerous levels to be shorting. I'm just bringing awareness that if we do go under 537 in a red bearish 30-minute confirmation forms, they are going to try to take it to 533. Based off of everything that I'm seeing, very fucking unlikely. Based off of that pattern, man, if you just simply looked at that pattern and everything that's playing out, man, the SPY is going to attempt to continue to have a gap close reversal. So this is going to be your zone, man. 537 to 538.40. But this is what I want to bring awareness to in terms of bulls, man. In terms of bulls, this is what they need to be aware of. 538.41, that's your previous closing price, and 537.50. That overall zone, man, if you're seeing the SPY maintaining support, it's forming green bullish 30-minute confirmations, green trend reversal 30-minute confirmations. If you are seeing we are maintaining above that previous closing price, reacting as support, man, buy call options. The SPY is going to try to have a strong closing bullish day, man. Look at this. We were just at 537 and it went all the way to 547, man. It's already starting to reverse at the gap. There's gaps that are waiting to fill above. It's extremely oversold. We were just at 547. It's going to try to attempt to retest these wicks. You got these wicks on the 30-minute at 543.50, 545, 547, and then you got the gaps that are waiting to fill above. It is extremely oversold. This is a very dangerous level to be buying put options, man. So like I said, in terms of tomorrow, the only shot that bears have tomorrow to gain that full control back is to go under 537 and form the red bearish 30-minute confirmations. That is their only fucking shot, man. If we're just maintaining above this zone, you need to buy call options. It's going to be a strong bullish closing Friday, man. This is free fucking money. This information I'm giving you, if you implement this, you should not have a problem going green on the day tomorrow. So with that being said, man, if you look at the pattern, this is so simple, man. The pattern says it can have a small drop under the previous closing price. And then once you see that previous closing price react to support, man, that is your confirmation to buy those fucking calls. Because look at this. It ended up closing very, very strong. You see this, man? It closed very, very strong towards almost the highs of the day before. It almost retested the wick. You see the wick, right? So just look at this pattern we have right here. And then we're simply just going to compare it, man. We're going to compare this pattern. So just compare these bars right here. And we're going to compare it to the SPY, man. I'm going to show you how fucking similar this stuff looks, man. It's so fucking similar. So we're just going to compare this candle right here. We're going to go a little bit back right here. So this is what we're looking at, man. We're going to start with the green bar. We're going to start right here. So just look at this green bar. Look at this green bar. And then look at the red bar, then look at the red bar. Then look at these two red bars. This is where it gets nearly identical, these two red bars, these two red bars. So then in terms of tomorrow, what are we going to look for? A small drop under the previous closing price. Previous closing price reacts to support. We are buying call options. Strong bullish day in terms of this situation. It had a 5-point move to the upside above the previous closing price. So if we were to measure the move, this is how we measure the move. The SPY can have a 5-point breakout above 539 if we just maintain above the previous closing price. So that is going to be the game plan for tomorrow, man. With that game plan and that information, I explained to you how to trade both ways. I explained to you how to bears, what they need to do to gain full control back. I explained to you the gap close reversal strategy. Look, you should not have a problem making money heading into tomorrow. Now, we're going to recap the trades, man. Let's get into the trade recaps. So like I said, man, this is truly incredible. There is nothing like this, man. I've never seen anything like this, man. I've never seen a trader buy these cheap bar out of money option contracts, make the biggest percentage gains, and go green every single fucking time in the morning, man. Look at the trades that G-War made today. He's green again in the fucking morning, man. Every single fucking day, he alerts a trade green in the morning, man. Look at this. Let's buy 205 Tesla puts for 42 cents a contract. We bought these puts in the 40s. And then we ended up getting profit stopped out. You can see right here in terms of the real-time trade alerts, man. Profit stopped out in the 62 cent range. This is a real-time options trade alert system that we have inside of Team Roar. That is another morning win. And then he recaps the trade in real time, man. So that is another morning fucking win. And then if you go to the option chain right here, we're going to pull it up for you. This is where we ended up getting in on the Tesla puts. I'm going to walk you through this right here. Let me go to the 1 minute chart real quick. So this is where we ended up getting in right here. And then in terms of the profit stop, it was in the mid 60 cent range towards the exact highs, man. Literally got in towards the exact fucking lows. 9:47 a.m. Literally got out towards the exact fucking highs. That is a 50% profit return at the speed of fucking light. Most traders inside of Team Roar literally just call it after the first 30 minutes. They can make a quick 100, 200, 300% return and just call it for the day. Some will come back later to trade during the power hour because that's where you can make the biggest percentage gains on the last 30 minutes, man. But every single morning trade inside of Team Roar has been green, man. So in terms of the second trade for the day, we ended up going 2 for 2. I'm going to walk you through this, man, so let's get into this. So in terms of the game plan, this game plan was very clear. Buy the dips above 542. So as you can see, man, he ended up following the game plan to a T. 3:05 p.m., let's buy 542 SPY calls for 50 cents a contract. We got these calls at 50 cents a contract. These calls ended up exploding, man. I'm going to walk you through this. So we got at these calls at 50 cents a contract, the 542 SPY calls. They ended up exploding, and in terms of where we got profit stopped out, 120 cents a contract, man. This is all alerted in real time, 3:05 to 3:24 p.m. And then he recaps the trade in real time. So that's 2 for 2 on the day. Now, if you go to the particular trade, you're going to see right here, these are the SPY calls. This is where we got in on real time. You can see right here at the exact lows, right here, 3:05 p.m. This is where we got on the calls. And then in terms of where we ended up exiting, right here, when it exploded up to 120. And the call options ended up going to 200. You understand? You could have made a 300% profit return at the speed of fucking light at those, man. So we alerted Tesla fucking puts at the exact fucking lows. Alert these SPY fucking calls at the exact fucking lows. And you would think the winning would stop there, right? You guys know I trade best personally during the power hour trading session. I had one trade before this in terms of my personal trades. I had a trade before this on calls. Didn't work out. Not a big deal. We already had 2 wins before that, and we already had 2 wins on the day. And also, you guys are well aware, I trade best during power hour trading session. That is my main focus in terms of my trades, trading far out of money option contracts. That's when I trade best. So in terms of the trade that I ended up making, I'm going to walk you through this, and I'm going to recap it for you on this video here. Let's get straight into this. So at 3:30 p.m., on the opening of the 30-minute candle, on the opening of the last 30-minute candle. This is the 30-minute trading session where you can make the most amount of money in the market in the quickest period of time. Trading SPX typically, man. This is what they don't teach you. I ended up going with SPY in this particular situation. Let's get straight into it. Let's buy SPY 542 puts at 32 cents a contract. I ended up going with SPY because I was getting in at a very earlier time. In terms of SPX, we prefer to pay cheaper. So in terms of SPX, we try to keep the focus on waiting usually past 3:40 p.m. In terms of this situation, if you were to buy the SPX puts, you could have made a much bigger percentage return. But let's get into this, man. 3:30 p.m., let's buy SPY 542 puts at 32 cents a contract. I ended up getting out for nearly a 100% profit return. We had members selling in the 70s. We had members leaving runners. Like I said, man, it's always smart to leave runners in play for the full 30-minute candle, man, because you can hold this for 30 minutes, and if the 30-minute candle closes in your favor, you can make a massive percentage gain with very, very low risk. These are the cheapest contracts. So why did I decide to buy these puts at 32 cents a contract? And like I said, man, we absolutely crushed it. I made it very clear at 3:39 p.m. as well. The 30-minute candle is supposed to close very bearish, I'll be looking for spikes to buy SPX puts to follow the overall trend. So I was expecting a strong bearish 30-minute candlestick. And when I'm expecting the 30-minute candle to be a bearish trend, what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for SPY or SPX to drop to crack a key support level on the 1-minute chart. And then once it has that nice drop, I'm going to wait for it to spike back up to that previous support where it cracked and the bulls got trapped. And then I'm going to short it, and then I'm going to buy SPX or SPY puts, and I'm going to play it as a lower high for that previous support to react as the new resistance, the new lower high. So these fucking puts that I bought, man, I'm telling you, this was the fucking play, man. Look at this. I'm going to walk you through this. So these puts, we're going to take a look right here. Look at these SPY puts, man. I literally got in towards the exact lows. 3:30 p.m. Look at this. This is where I learned the fucking puts. The fucking puts are sitting right here at 40 cents a contract. These were at 9 cents a contract earlier in the day. They went all the way to 400 a contract, man. Look at that fucking potential trade, man. You could have made 1,000%, but you could have made a 1,300% profit return in literally 30 fucking minutes, man. So that's all the fucking winning inside of Team Roar, man. Now I'm going to show you, man. I'm going to show you this fucking trade. So in terms of the trade, man, I'm going to break down some of the main reasons why I was interested in this. So in terms of the game plan, if we take a look at the game plan was to buy the bounces. You can see right here, in terms of the game plan, buy the dips above 542. So, I mean, if that's a key make or break level to be buying at, if it reacts as a resistance, I might show some interest in buying overall puts. But in terms of the main reasons, this is what caught my attention, man. What caught my attention was this. Strong support was reacting as a resistance level for 60 minutes. And then I identified a 30-minute pattern on the SPY. So I'm going to walk you through this, man. So I'm looking at all this support, and I'm saying, okay, we got all this support right here at this 543, support at 543, support at 543, support at 543, support at 543. This is a very strong support level, and you could see in a very short period of time, once it breaks above this support level, the SPY can go from 543 all the way to 546. That's how you measure the move. That's a 3-point potential move. When the real move occurs and it breaks above that 543 support, it can have a 3-point move. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, the SPY cracked support. It went from 543 all the way down to 540. A 3-point move to the downside. So it's no longer forming support at 543. It's no longer breaking out above 543 to go to 540 It's cracking support into the fucking close, and the measure move is accurate. It had a 3-point move to the downside here, 3-point move to the upside here when it reacts bullish. So I'm looking at the chart and I'm saying, okay, it's reacting as a resistance for an hour straight. For 1 hour fucking straight, 543 is failing to break out. And this was literally at 540 multiple fucking times, man. So I'm looking at the fucking chart and I'm saying, this is bearish, man. It's maintaining a reaction of resistance. And I'm telling you, it's just how the 30-minute pattern looked. I studied this pattern specifically. I went back throughout the chart history on the 30-minute chart, and I found key times where the SPY had a 30-minute red candle just like this, and then it had a 30-minute red candle in the middle just like this, and then the next 30-minute candle was a green bullish candle, and then the next 30 minutes when it closed green bullish like this, it sold off and it lost all of its gains. And then in terms of a confirmation that's going to maintain that, the max pain and risk could just be above 543.70. If it starts to break above 543.70, then it's really going to push to that 546 level, and that history is not going to repeat itself. But the risk is so low on these contracts, we don't use stop losses, man. We just let them expire to fucking zero. If you can't afford to risk $40 to make $400 potentially, then don't fucking trade, man. We're buying the cheapest low-risk contracts. We have the highest win rate in the game doing this. And the trades that we enter have the biggest percentage gains. There is no fucking competition, man. So with that being said, that's the main reasons why I decided to buy those SPY fucking put options, man. It was just very, very clear. Even on the 1-minute chart, you can see right here, you had key support that was not tested towards this 543. Overreaction to the upside once it was fucking tested. Lower highs, red bearish candles, forming fucking resistance. But like I said, man, this 30-minute chart, I've specifically, it's just simple. It cracked fucking support, 3-point move to the upside, 3-point move to the upside, overreactions to the upside. The new fucking ceiling is at the previous support, forming lower highs, maintaining as resistance for an hour fucking straight. But just something about this pattern, man. I specifically remember at times when there was a red bearish candle closing in the middle like this, and then there was a green bullish retest, and then this previous support is reacting as resistance for an hour fucking straight with 3-point moves, overreactions to the fucking upside. It's bound to not only drop back down to the support, but crack support. Now, this is the crazy thing, man. So like I said, we like to buy SPX puts when they're very fucking cheap, but in terms of this situation, you could have got these SPX puts fairly fucking cheap if you went this far out of the money. You know, I wasn't expecting a drop this fucking big, but I was expecting a strong bearish move. But man, this just goes to show you what you can do with SP fucking man. But like I said, we like to personally wait a little bit later to get it on cheaper. But this was one of those rare situations where it had just such a strong bearish move. If you were to just go even further out, you could have got them cheaper. But just look at this, man. This is one of the SPX contracts that you could have gotten in on. This is a 5-4-10 put on SPX, man. Take a look at this. You could have got this at 3:30 p.m. for 40 cents. Isn't this fucking crazy, man? Think about this. You could have bought these puts at the same price for my SPY puts. Same fucking price, different fucking strikes, different fucking symbols, right? But they follow each other. And you could have got these at the same price. The SPY puts, you know, they weren't as far out of the money, but they for fucking 40 cents to 400. These went from 40 cents to a fucking 1,000, man. But if you would have went further out on SPY as well, you could have got in on those cheaper as well. So SPY puts was a fucking home run today. Like I said, man, it's just we like to wait on SPX past 3:40 p.m. We're usually not going this far fucking out with 30 minutes on the fucking clock. That's why I went with SPY in a sense. But yeah, man. Like I said, that's the overall information I wanted to provide with you within this video, man. So look, if you do want to join Team Roar and you do want to join our secured private organization, you get access to my real-time trade alerts. I'm mainly trading in terms of my personal trades that I'm making during the power hour trading session. And then G-Roar, he's trading all fucking day, man. If you want to get access to our secured private organization, it's going to be the first link down below. Within the description, every single day, you're going to get the morning game plan walking you through the key levels to go long and go short. This is going to be the most accurate morning game plan you're ever going to fucking see. And you're going to see literally almost every single fucking morning, there's a winning trade. You could literally just walk away after the morning, first fucking 30 minutes, come back during power hour if you like, risk 30 to 50% of your gains if you'd fucking like. And then you're going to see I trade best during the power hour trading session, man. But we have members absolutely kill it, man. Just look at the fucking results, man. We have people absolutely crush it. We had a guy start with $1,000. He's already at $2,000. And you can see, man, members are absolutely crushing it. So look, man, Friday is going to be our best fucking days. You guys are well aware. You follow this channel. Fridays have always been my best days. And I'm telling you, with that game plan that I gave you, we are going to absolutely crush it, man. So look, if you want to make money and you want to surround yourself with fucking winners, and you want non-stop fucking winning, you want to gain access to our morning game plan and our trades, where you get to even see us executing the strategies that I'm teaching you in these videos, man. You're going to start to pick up on the things that I'm teaching you, because some of the trades that I'm entering have to purely do with the strategy. And then some of the trades that I'm making are literally heart of fucking cards, my intuition, right? So it's different for each trade, but you're going to start to pick up on things, and you're really going to start to learn the way it is that we trade. And you're going to start to see that the best way of trading options is to go with the cheap, far, low risk out of money option contracts, sell them deep in the money for the biggest percentage gain. We have the highest win rate doing this, and the risk is so low in terms of what we're putting into these contracts. We don't use stop losses. The plays can come back. Do you understand? Look at this. You could have bought these fucking SPX puts. You could have bought these SPX puts at fucking $3, at $1. They went all the way to 15 fucking cents. You know how many people are getting stopped the fuck out? We don't use stop losses. And then they come back to $1,000. You understand? These contracts that we get in, they could drop 50, 60, 70, 89%. But if you looked at our fucking trade alerts, dude, I'm alerting fucking puts at the exact fucking lows, man. Who the fuck is doing that? Do you understand? I'm in puts right here. 3:30 fucking p.m. That's the fucking alert. You could have bought SPX puts as fucking well, or you could have went further on SPY. You can do what you want to do. You don't have to copy everything it is that we're doing, man. We're trying to show you the way our strategies that we're using in real time. But look, man, at the exact fucking low, alerted fucking puts. And then G-War, man, he had the fucking puts in the morning at the exact fucking lows at the time. And then he had the SPY calls, man. We had the SPY calls in the fucking morning, man. Let's in the middle of the day on the 542 break above game plan here. Look at this, man. At the exact fucking lows. Who's doing this, man? Who the fuck is buying these contracts towards the exact lows, putting you in positions that are cheap and low risk to make the biggest percentage gains in the market with the highest win rate doing this, man. So if you want to be surrounded in our secured private organization and gain access to Giro and I, it's going to be the first link down below within the description. You can come print with us tomorrow, man. I'm telling you, you come in this group, you come in here with fucking respect, man. You're going to see. You're going to be in presence of greatness. You're going to be in presence of royalty, man. There's going to be people join this group. You're going to shake our hands. You're going to want to give us a Nobel fucking prize with the amount of fucking winning that you're going to fucking experience and what you're going to learn inside of this fucking group, man. I'm telling you. It's the first link down below in the description. You come in here tomorrow, we're going to be very, very green tomorrow.